What's Sequina's last name?
Baldwin.
Baldwin?
Yeah. Hey volleyball fans, and welcome to Clarke Central High School, where we will be bringing you the volleyball game between Clarke Central and Johnson High School. I'm Megan Robb, and here today with me is my coloring commentator, Alex Itson. Alex, what are you looking forward to about today's game?
Well, I think it's going to be a good matchup today. We got two really tough region opponents heading down the stretch here. Players to look out for, first off, on Clarke Central would be the senior Sequina Baldwin. She'll be number 7 tonight. She's one of the seniors and one of the captains and leaders of this team who's looking to take her talents to Kennesaw State to continue her volleyball career.
And what about key players for Johnson? What can you tell me about Grace Itson?
Well, Johnson's Grace Itson is a fantastic player all around. She's traditionally been more of a setter in her early years, but given her role on the team this year, she's turned into more of an attacker and has produced a lot of points for the Knights.
What does Clarke Central have to do tonight to win this game?
Well, first off, they have to make sure they defend their turf. This is where the region championship is going to be played next week, and they have to come out and make a statement that they're not going to go down easy in front of their home fans.
All right, well, let's go down to Taylor Dowse on the sidelines for some more of the action.
Thanks, guys. We're here at the Johnson and Central volleyball game today, and right now it's a close match with at 2-1, and Central is actually missing their head coach today, and so their assistant coach, Scott, is taking the lead for them. It's senior night, so let's wish them good luck to both teams. Back to you guys.
It was a nice dig from Johnson's number 33, Emily Pena.
And what I said, another big key to the game here for Clarke Central is going to be to put the balls away at the net when they have them. Johnson's a tough defensive team, and they're not going to give away easy points.
Yeah, and that right there was a great block between Sequina Baldwin and Julia Bowers. No, Flora Letchtrek, I'm sorry.
And a strategic spike right there. She didn't put too much oomph behind it, but she put it right in the right spot. And that's going to give Clarke Central a 4-2 lead.
And another point for Clarke Central. They look like such a team right now. It is really awesome to see.
That was a great job to start off the point from tough serve from the Knights, but they ended up going on the offensive after a few defensive rallies and ended up coming away with the point there.
And back to serve now is your key player that you mentioned before, is Sequina Baldwin.
Let's see what Sequina can do with this one right here. Good deep serve.
Wow, and Johnson couldn't return it. That was really impressive.
She put it deep and she put it in the corner. Really jammed up the Knights backsman.
Let's see if she can do it again.
Same spot, but the Knights were able to figure it out.
Yeah, and as you mentioned earlier, Grace Itson, that was a beautiful set from her that helped her team to get the third contact on their side. But the point did end up going to Clarke Central.
Another serve from Sequina. There's a big spike from Johnson, but that's hit right back by Clarke Central.
Sequina with a nice hit back there. And a nice spike from number 6. Kira McIntyre, another one of the seniors on the team, and one of the captains.
This is their night, senior night here at Clarke Central. It's time for the seniors to step up and showing that they are trying to take this tournament by storm.
And that serve from Sequina was just a little too far outside.
Serve now back to the Johnson Knights.
It's Olivia Farley serving the ball. And another serve goes out of bounds.
A little too much on that one there, Megan.
I think you're right.
Johnson made the trip to Clarke Central all the way from Gainesville, Georgia, up around the Lake Lanier area. This is their first time playing here in Athens, as they are new to the region after the whole shakedown that happened in the GHSA this offseason.
Nice dig back there by number 12, but just couldn't get it over the net. That was Federica.
That was a powerful shot right there by Johnson. Way to go ahead and put the point away early.
Samantha Somerville of Johnson back to serve now. And into the net, point for Clarke Central. As I mentioned before, here's Gara back to serve.
And let's see what the senior can do here.
It was great position. Johnson, hit it and it went to the net, so point for them. She did what she had to for her
Point
team.
for Clarke Central. Great serve by Kiera. And underneath us right here, we have the young Gladiators participating in their JV game against Clarke Central, and this is a heated matchup as well. Get a little taste to see what the future of Clarke Central volleyball has right here.
Yeah, and right now while they're taking a break, let's just again mention the fact that the head coach for Clarke Central is not here tonight. She's actually in class. So the assistant coach is taking over those duties tonight on senior night.
It's a big loss for Clarke Central. You know that they'd love to have their coach there for senior night, but I think that Coach Stacy is well prepared. She's been here for a while, and she's going to do a great job stepping up and filling that head coaching role.
Unfortunately, not another serve like the one Kara previously had. This one went straight to the net, but it gives them a little bit of time to regroup and talk to each other and bring each other back up. It was a nice hit by Federica, but it just went right outside.
She was set up nice, just long. Hit it to the right spot. Just couldn't execute.
All right, number 13, Julia Bowers back to serve. Nice dig from the libero, Clarke Central, Leslie.
And that we have a net violation there. The Johnson player actually spiked the ball on the wrong side of the net, and that's going to end up going point Clarke Central. Seven to 12 Gladiators.
Nice dig out of Kira in the back. And another solid hit from Federica, but again, just outside the playing field.
And a diving stop or a diving save by Kira, but she just can't keep it inbounds. Great effort.
It's really great to see players go after those hard balls like that and attack it. It really shows that they care about the sport.
Ooh, and a tough serve, a little bit of topspin on that one. Dies before it can reach the Clarke Central backsman. That's going to go down as another point for Johnson. They've come back. They've scored 3 in a row here.
Grace Itzen serving again for Johnson. It was a nice set there by Clarke Central that resulted in a point for them.
Very tricky. Looked like she was about to set, but yet hit it backwards over her head into the perfect spot. Point Gladiators.
This is Lauren Waters serving for Clarke Central. And a great dig there by number 32 from Johnson. Number 37 from Johnson tried to get there. That's Samantha Somerville again. She tried to get there for that dig and just could not get there in time before the ball hit the ground.
Clarke Central serve, up 14-10 here in the first set.
And a beautiful serve from Lauren Waters.
Man,
just in the right spot.
That's twice we've seen topspin serves find that hole right there in the no man's land between the front and back lines.
Nice dig from number 13. And a nice hit from Federica again, but this time the block hit it outside, so scored a point for Clarke Central.
Big time spike right there. A lot of power behind that one. That was a tough one for anyone to return.
Number 13, Flora Lectrek, is getting talked to by the official right now. I wonder what that's about.
The official really did not like what 13 was doing there. And he looks like he might make her leave the game. Or no, she's going to be allowed to stay in. Unsure what that situation was, but glad we had it resolved. And another winner hit by Kira.
Clarke Central really
excuse me, that was Sequina.
Clarke Central is really doing a great job of communicating on the court and getting to the ball and being able to hit it over.
They're lining up in this formation here where they've got three standing in a straight line across the middle. That's keeping Johnson guessing as to where they're going to put their taller people once the point goes underway.
Right, and that position also gives the Clarke Central players the ability to shift who's going to receive the serve from Johnson.
Competitive match so far. Clarke Central pulling away here in the first set, 17-10, as we're going to resume play after the timeout.
Lauren Waters back to serve again. Wow, great block from Sequina.
Big time stuff right there by Sequina. Number 12 for Johnson is their go-to spiker. That's the one they want to try and get the ball to on the sets, and Sequina was just tracking her and had it all the way. Ooh, and a little too much power on that one by number 12 for Clarke Central. It's going to be the first point for Johnson since it was 13-10. Now it is 18-11.
This is number 33 back to serve now. Emily Pena again. And a tough shot there from a tough serve there from Johnson to Clarke Central. Just could not get control of the ball to hit it back over.
Serving again. And the ref's going to blow the whistle on that. Looks like we're going to have a replay the point. And that serve was just too deep with too much on it for Clarke Central to handle as the ball sails out. It is now 13-18. The Gladiators still on top.
That's 3 straight points now for Johnson. Let's see if Clarke Central can score one now.
And all of them on the serve. There's the set and there's the spike.
There's the point.
Clarke Central answers that. Little 3-point streak there by Johnson with a big-time spike of their own. And now Clarke Central with another one, 20-13. Here comes the serve. over, dug out, and a set. Spike right there by number 32 for Johnson will give the Knights the point, 20-14.
Yep, Clarke Central just could not get there in time to save the ball and keep Johnson from scoring that point. This is number 12 back to serve.
This is the sophomore for Johnson. She's a young, promising player for the Knights. They expect a lot out of her here and going forward.
Sequina with a nice hit that was received well.
And that ball sails left. 21-14 now, Clarke Central. As we see another substitution, there's one of our captains going out. She's going to take a rest for a minute.
Sequina back to serve again.
Very high spike, a very high set, and it works out well for Johnson.
Wow, and a great hit from Kira McIntyre.
That was a big-time play. Holy cow. Perfect set, perfect spike, great communication all around.
Those are the types of hits you want to have on your senior night when everybody's here to watch you play.
Exactly.
A nice dig there by Sequina, but went out of bounds. The libero, Leslie, is back in action now, number 0.
Johnson serve, 15-22. Digs it out, sets it up, and it is dumped into the net. Mental error there by Clarke Central.
Johnson back to serve again.
And a good serve cannot be dug out by the Gladiators.
She was just a little too far back on that line, and they hit it right into that space you were talking about earlier between the front and back line.
If you can hit it with pace and put it there, it's real tough to return. That server had a lot of pace on it. Too much to handle there for Clarke Central.
We've seen several of these points come from serves that can't be received. That just goes to show you that there's a lot of power with these high school ladies.
They do. They really pack a punch on all of their serves. That one is dug out well by the senior.
Just got over the net there, but they called the point.
And Johnson comes in on a hot streak. They've now cut the lead to 3 as Clarke Central is going to take a timeout here as the first set is winding down.
So, Alex, what can you tell me about Johnson's coach this game?
Well, Coach Debbie Itzen, she is in love with this team. She's glad to be in the new region. They have Buford next week, and she says it's some of the top competition. She's got her own daughter on the team. Grace is one of their premier players. She's excited for the region tournament that'll be hosted here next week.
That is quite awesome to have your mother as your coach, I would think. Or maybe not, I don't know. And just like
I bet there's good things and bad things. At least
Clarke Central has scored another point. It's 23-19.
and they try to play it off the net but can't get there in time.
Another point for Johnson.
Clarke Central looked like they were going to run away with this first set, but all of a sudden it's going down to the wire.
Yeah, at one point, you know, we had an 8-point difference between the two teams, and now it's down to just 3 points. Great hit from Grace Idson, number 29 from Johnson.
Big time spike right there. And we said she's really found her role more of as a hitter on this team, whereas traditionally she's been one of the premier setters in Region 8.
I can definitely see why. There was a lot of power behind that hit.
And the very high set with a big spike.
Another hit from her. This one could not be received and played again.
22-23. It's a 1-point game right here in the first set.
And Johnson not able to save the ball. It goes out of bounds, and it's Clarke Central's point.
Big time spike by the senior Kiera.
Clarke Central serve now in the first set point of the game. And it's Clarke Central's point. And that is the end of the first set.
And a big time put away by Clarke Central. Can't give this Knights defense a chance, as they always seem to pull it out somehow.
Ace, now back to you.
All right, and now the teams have switched sides, so we'll get to see a little bit of different action over here as Johnson is now on our closer side.
What a first set that was. It looked like Clarke Central was going to run away, but Johnson said they were not going to go down easy. Looks to be an exciting second set of action we have coming up.
Yeah, now let's go down to Taylor on the sidelines for some more info on what's been going on down there. Well, the players are coming back out for the start of set 2. Let's see if Clarke Central can win this one as well. Johnson looks really ready for this action. They've been on the court a while now before Clarke Central came out.
Johnson's ready to go. Clarke Central's got their lineup out. Clarke Central should be serving first to open up this set. They're up 1-0 on the match if you're just joining in. We're here on the corner of, around the corner from Baxter and Millage at Clarke Central High School.
And first point goes to Clarke Central of set number 2. This is Lauren Waters back to serve now for them.
Just missed on the spike there for the Knights. Very close. That point could have gone either way, just a bit outside.
Oh, and Johnson could not get there in time for the dig.
A little bit of miscommunication there between number 13 and number 32. Their coach is not going to be happy about that one. And the Clarke Central serve. High with topspin, but a good diving save from the Johnson captain.
And a good hit from Johnson with Clarke Central just unable to get there.
Great put away by Johnson. 2-1, Knights serve.
This is Grace Idson, our key player, back to serve for Johnson.
Calm, cool. I like her service motion a lot.
A nice hit out of number 17.
Big time set from our server Grace all the way across the court. Leaves Clarke Central confused, and the diagonal spike catches him off guard.
Is that just a foot kick?
That looked like a foot save from our senior Sequina.
I have never seen that before in a volleyball game. That was quite interesting.
The
And it
creativity
successfully
on
went
this
over the
Clarke
net.
Central side is just great.
You're right.
They're finding any way they can to win. It just shows you how important this senior night is to the Gladiators.
I would have to say, I think their head coach would be pretty impressed with the kick that went over the net.
The effort level is off the charts right now. I'm sure she wished she was here to see it.
Another beautiful serve from Idson of Johnson.
And another big put away by the Gladiators.
But they call it interference from this ball on the other court here.
We're going to replay the point.
Number 14 with the dig there.
The set and the spike, but Johnson's diving saves enough to get it back. Point, Clarke Central.
We have a tied game now, 3-3.
Not really sure why, but it's a tie game now.
Number 12, Federica back to serve now. And couldn't quite get it over the net. Point for Johnson.
She seemed to not realize that you don't get assist on serves. The serve's got to go all the way over. She tried to pass it to her teammate there, and the ref said no good.
33 for Johnson back serving now. That's Emily Pena again. And into the net goes her serve. Point for Clarke Central. This is a much closer set than we saw in the last one.
They're coming out dead even here to start the second. See what one team can pull away.
And another serve into the net from Clarke Central, this time by Sabrina Baldwin.
Lots of unforced errors on both sides so far. I know both coaches would love to clean up the sloppy play going forward.
Let's see if we can get a good rally going here with this serve from number 12 of Johnson.
Good dig, good set, and a big-time spike, but it's going to be saved by Johnson, who hit it high and back in. This point's still going on.
Wow, great dig from number 12. That's Emma Hernandez of Johnson.
So wonderful play by both sides, but two big spikes from Clarke Central results in a point as Johnson could not get the spike of their own to stay inbounds. 5-5 now. And there's an ace. A perfectly placed serve on the right-hand side down the line gives Clarke Central the advantage.
Just inside that out-of-balance line where there were no Johnson players to receive it.
Very strategically placed. The spike from Clarke Central is money. 7-5.
Another big hit from Kira McIntyre.
Boom goes the dynamite.
We've seen several good hits come from her tonight. And now Clarke Central is up 7-5.
Good low dig by the Johnson captain. But the spike is saved by Clarke Central. And 27 for the Gladiators tried to stuff it, but the ball reflected off the arm and onto the court. It's going to be a point for Johnson.
This is 32. Olivia Farley serving for Johnson now.
Very high save there, keeps the point going.
Good hit by Grace Idson that was received well by the libero Leslie from Clarke Central.
What a point. A lot of back and forth going on there. Clarke Central with the well-placed ball is going to come away with it.
Kira McIntyre back to serve now.
And the serve cannot be returned. 9-6 now, Clarke Central.
Nice dig for number 33. And another great hit from Grace Itson, number 29.
And the line judge is going to give that point to Johnson. Very well placed ball. They're going to stop the Clarke Central run, and they're going to be having the serve 9-7. Brief pause in the game here as the ref's going to check his phone real quick.
Wow, and a nice tap from number 12, Federico, just went right into that empty space.
The set isn't always where you want it. You ended up pulling her back and a little off the court, but she had ups on that, was able to reach back and put it in the perfect spot. 10-7 now, Gladiators.
Johnson tried to play it out of the net, but couldn't get to it in time. Another point for Clarke Central. This is Jordan Rim serving for Clarke Central now.
And the ball just barely makes it over the net, surprising Clarke Central, as the ball barely almost made it over the fence and hit us up here in the booth. Yes, you're never safe anywhere in this gym, but we're just out here brave and courageous to bring you this live coverage.
Number 13, the libero from Johnson serving now. This is Julia Bowers. And a big, powerful hit from Sequina Baldwin just went outside.
Just a little too much on it right there, but I'm sure the coach loves the idea.
It actually went out into the stands. I think she wants the fans to participate in this game.
And another spike that is just too much and sails on the Gladiators. Johnson's crawled back into it. It's 11-10. And now there's another volleyball team encircling the gym. There is just a lot of action going on here. The whole gym is just showing out for this region matchup.
Nice dig from Kara McIntyre, but Clarke Central cannot get the point. Point goes to Johnson.
Just like that, we have another 3-point swing. We're back to a tie ball game here in Athens.
We're going to take a quick timeout in this second set.
Clarke Central is going to need to take a timeout. Coach Stacy is in there telling these girls we need to get a grip. We can't let these leads go away. As soon as we get up on them, it seems like they relax a little bit and let the Knights crawl back into it.
I'm sure she's also telling her team that the power behind their hits are great, but we need to work a little bit on the location of that. Keeping it inbounds and getting it to a player so we can keep the rally going.
Seems like senior night, they got a little extra juice on their in their spikes right now, and a little bit out of control. Sometimes it's not always about how hard you hit it, but where you place it.
Right, and I definitely think the emotions are running high for some of these girls. It's the last time they're going to play in front of a home crowd in their volleyball uniform.
Absolutely. The adrenaline is pumping just a little bit more, and that seems to be making a difference.
Play coming back now. Johnson serving again. Nice dig from the libero, Leslie, number 0. Grace Itson with a huge hit there that was blocked out of bounds, so point for Johnson.
And that was 3 spikes in a row for Grace, and the third one was the charm. The Knights take the point.
Looked like some miscommunication there from Johnson as 2 players seem to run into each other over the ball.
Some sort of violation there called by the ref. They're going to give the point to the Knights, and we see another Johnson serve. The set And the spike, but is returned.
And another block out of bounds for Clarke Central, so the point goes to Johnson.
They love going to Grace Itzen on that right side. And I think that's going to be called a resting penalty, whereas the ball is not hit but caught and rest in the hand. That's automatic point for the other team, and I believe that's what this motion here by the referee is signaling.
Either that or a lift.
A lift.
Not sure which
excuse
one.
me, that's what I meant to say. A lifting penalty.
And the serve from Clarke Central goes out of bounds. Back to serving from Johnson now.
Clarke Central finds himself now down 4 here in the second. It's 16-12. Johnson with the serve.
This is Grace Itzen now serving for Johnson.
Good deep serve. But it's set up a great spike there as the Gladiators will take that point.
Yep, great spike from number 12, Federica, and she's going to go back to serve now for Clarke Central.
Great effort to get it back on that. And a big time put away by Sequina. This Johnson team is a great D and is making Clarke Central work, but sometimes there's some balls you just can't put away, or you just can't get back.
And Johnson will hit the ball into the net. Another point for Clarke Central. They are really making a point comeback right now.
This has been a game of runs so far. It seems as soon as one team scores 4 and takes a lead, the other team comes storming right back, not trying to give up any ground to their opponent.
You're right, and here's the 4th point for Clarke Central now from a big hit from Johnson that went out of bounds.
We're back to a tie game.
Just a light tap from Clarke Central caused Johnson to have 4 hits on one side. And still not get the ball over the net completely.
And here's a timeout, Johnson. It's 17-16 here in the second set. Clarke Central up by 1.
I'm sure these coaches are telling the players the same thing they said last time they had a timeout because the game is still very close at this point.
Coming out of this timeout is going to be crucial to see who takes the lead and who is able to step on the throat and finish their opponent here in the second set.
This timeout seems to be taking a little bit longer than the previous one, with Clarke Central breaking their huddle first, making their way back out onto the court. Johnson follows suit. Looks like we're about to have some more volleyball.
Great diving save, keeps the serve in. However, a net violation on Grace Itzen as she tried to save it is going to cost Johnson a point. 18-16 Gladiators.
Still number 12 for Clarke Central serving this ball.
And that's long on the spike, 19-16 now, Gladiators. As the fans are starting to get into it and cheer on the home team in front of a packed house.
And a serve into the net for Clarke Central. This is the first point from Johnson that we've seen in a while.
19-17 now. Johnson's going to make a sub. Send number 32 back to serve.
Nice block from number 12, Emma Hernandez to Johnson. The ball is still in play. Number 37, Johnson, hit the ball into the net. That's Samantha Somerville. Point Clarke Central.
And a miscommunication there as 2 Johnson players somehow run into each other, still get the ball back, and win the point. Wow. What a play.
Number 12, Amanda Hernandez, back to serve for Johnson now. We've seen some powerful hits out of her. Wow, and a great
there's
hit
another
from
powerful
Kira.
hit by the Gladiators in response.
And when that ball hit the ground, there's a guy in the stands who went crazy for her. I wonder if he's one of her family.
Another big-time spike right there. However, this one finds its way into the net. 21-19 still here in the second set.
Number 14, Clarke Central, who just got subbed out. That's Leah Orlando. She has been receiving several of the serves in this second set.
She's been doing a great job. You know, they haven't seen an ace as long as she's been back there. A little too much power on that one to be returned. Johnson's going to take that point. It's 21-20 now.
And number 8 from Johnson just reached up there and tapped the ball over.
Gladiators don't like that call. Looked like she might have crossed over the net. However, the ref did not see it. And it's a tie ball game here.
That was Kelly Tran of Johnson with that nice tap just right over the net and into Clarke Central territory. And a big hit from Kira McIntyre once again that cannot be received. The ball is hit out of bounds and Clarke Central gets the point.
Big time hit, but sails long. 23-21 now. Clarke Central serving.
Kira McIntyre back to serve now for Clarke Central Gladiators.
Wow, and a shot that looked like a desperation shot there for Johnson, just trying to get it over. Somehow finds no man's land on the Clarke Central side and falls in for a point. 23-22 now.
Yeah, Alex, it looked like some miscommunication between some of the Gladiator players. Just weren't in the position to hit the ball back. With the set being this close, I don't think they'll make that mistake again.
Great serve there. Makes it tough for a return, and it's all tied up at 23 again.
Hard dig there. Kira McIntyre was in position, but just could not get the ball inbounds. We're going to take another timeout. I'm sure with a set this close, these girls have got to be thinking, what can we do to finish it? Only 2 more points and we win the set.
It's coming down to the wire, just like the last one.
It's definitely one of those areas in sport where you got a lot of nerves because you know you want to win and it's super close.
These are 2 tightly contested teams battling it out for the first time in the school's history. Knuckleball serve is able to be returned as they finally do get it over the Gladiators.
And a big hit from Clarke Central that cannot be returned by Johnson. And you can hear the crowd going crazy right now. They're excited.
Here they are. They're getting up on their feet for the Gladiators. It's 24-23 serving for the set.
This is Jordan Rim back to serve for the Gladiators on their second set point of the match.
And the
like
Knights
that,
dump it into the net.
they won the set with that hit into the net, and Clarke Central has won the match.
Wow, fantastic game played by both sides. Neither one gave up. It seemed like every time one team went on a run, the other one pulled it together and came right back at them.
You're right, and they won both sets by very few points. That just goes to show you how great both of these teams are.
And the great thing, they won the game by playing good, hard defense, not letting easy stuff go by, and always keeping points alive.
And I think there was a lot of good communication between both teams as well. You know, we didn't see very many instances where they were colliding or completely missing the ball. Let's head back down to Taylor Dallas on the sidelines for an update on how the game ended.
The win on their last home game of the season and their senior night. Johnson fought hard, but it was the Gladiators' victory in the end. The seniors really took the lead and got the team excited and empowered, and in the end that's what led them to victory. So now back to you guys.
And we're getting some stats now from this game here, and the total digs for Clarke Central, they had 79 in that first game, and Johnson had 71, so very close in terms of digs. And in total kills, they were tied. Both teams had 15 kills in the game, and Clarke Central scored 45 points per game, and Johnson had 50. So it was a very close game between both of these teams, and it was an exciting game to watch. Thanks for tuning in, and good night. Did I go off the air?